Shalom, Pastor, coming back at you with this truth, giving all praise to Yahweh. This is another GMS in transit, and I'm going to entitle this one, The Prophets of Doom, or what did Trump mean by the Prophets of Doom? He had made a speech at the World Economic Forum in Davos, Switzerland. This was like a week ago, and he made a speech about how great America is and how America's not going to fall, and how the world, in an oikoumene sense, is going to flourish. And not so many words, I'm putting words in his mouth, but he said how great this place is and how the future. Then he made the statement about that they're going to reject the prophets of doom. So one brother had put up the video and another brother had put it up, and then I did my take on it. I said a few words and let Donald J. Trump speak. So you can see that it was actually him that said that. And the first thing that came in our minds was the Israelites, us being out there teaching this truth, and the main thing that we teach is about the end of this system, which the end is going to come pursuant to the scriptures. If they want to say that they know the scriptures, then they would have to deal with the part of the scriptures, or part of prophecy that speaks about the end of the world. Matthew 24, start from the 3rd verse. The disciples go up to the Lord and ask him about his coming and of the end of the world. So the actual word phrase, end of the world, is actually in Matthew's 24th chapter. There's many other scriptures where it speaks about the last days. This is going to happen at the last days. Jacob gathered his sons together and said, let me tell you what shall befall you in the last days. Genesis the 49th chapter, first verse. Sons, gather yourself together that I may tell you what shall befall you in the last days. And befall meaning to, and he wasn't talking about be rise, he's talking about befall. You're going to come up under them curses in one way or another. Then we go to Ezekiel 37, which that's always in my mind. Ezekiel the 37th chapter, the dry bones in the valley representing America. That's in the book of Job. It's also in speaks about the valley, and it's also in the 23rd Psalms. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death. Valley meaning lowland. Shadow of death meaning death is right behind you. Death is like a shadow. Imminent death, imminent danger. It says in Deuteronomy, the 28th chapter, around about this, as you go down from the 64th verse on down, it says that we're going to be scattered. Then it says, in the morning you shall say, would to the Most High it was evening, and in the evening thou shalt say, would to the Most High it was morning. So we're taking this as a day-to-day thing as to what's going to happen to us, whether we're going to get put to death, whether we're going to get sick, or whether evil is going to become us, because we feel cursed. Jake, even with money, if you come into a lot of money, you better hit the lotto, you're still under the curses, man. Esau is still gonna look at you like an end. Floyd Mayweather became 50-0. It was the highest paying boxer in the history of the game, and you got people that still talking shit about him, man. Why? Because he's an Israelite. If he looked like this guy, who's this guy, Bieber, one of them Edomite singers or whatever, they would say, look, he's a run for president. It's not because he's so-called black, it's because he's an Israelite. But anyway, the Most High is looking on us, and he's shining his light on us by waking us up. That's a blessing. That's a blessing in itself. The fact that we have the opportunity to go out there and tell the people that they're Israelites, and that Israelites are waking up every day. As a matter of fact, we were speaking Saturday, and I asked a question to the brothers in the camp. All together, it was 6 or 7 of us. 6, 7, 8 of us. And I asked each and every one of them, what religion did you come out of before you came into the Israelites? A couple of brothers said Roman Catholic. A couple said Pentecostal. You know, a couple said, I don't know if Kabar said Jehovah's Witness, but that's one form of Christianity. I said I was a Protestant. And this is what's hurting Christianity too, is the fact that I would say 98 to 99% of the people that know that they're Israelites were at one time one form of Christianity, you know, of the plantation / Renaissance Christianity. So that's where we're coming at it, man. And that's why these devils are so hard. One chief demon is Vocab Malone, which we met, you know. And, you know, I believe it's his job. He was appointed to try to get former Christians to come back into Christianity, which he's failing miserably. Ain't nobody leaving. Well, there was a couple that left, but guess what? They were meant to leave because they wasn't right in the first place. That's 1 John, the 2nd chapter, and the 20th verse. I'm sorry, the 19th verse, where it says they were not of us, because if they had been of us, they would surely remain of us. In other words, you would surely remain knowing that you were Israelites. You got Israelites that leave this thing or don't do the work anymore. They come into a camp and they leave the work, but then they'll set up another camp and they'll kind of go off. Some just keep teaching, you know, but then some of them just go right back to Christianity, you know. So that's been a small number of people. You know, you're not going to wake up the masses that are part of the elect. It says in Matthew 20, going back to Matthew 24, it says that if it were possible, they shall deceive many. And if it was possible, they will deceive the very elect. But guess what? They're not going to deceive the very elect. They're going to deceive Israelites that are not of the elect. So a guy like Jay the producer was not of the elect. And he's back in that Christianity nonsense, and he had a little debate, but I call that a mollywopping. He got ragdolled and mollywopped by a couple of the brothers from Sakari. They beat his ass with the scriptures. They made him look stupid. If you watch the video, I think it's on Deacon page or whatever, one of those Sakari pages, and you look at the comments, they were saying, yeah, this guy's getting his ass whipped spiritually, because there's a physical ass whipping and there's a spiritual ass whipping, and he was getting a spiritual ass whipping. So, you know, vocab, you might as well pack it in, because it ain't working, man. You know, this is the fulfillment of Ezekiel 37 chapter. The dry bones are waking up. They put the skin on them, and the Most High gave them. They didn't have a breath. Now they got breath coming in them. And the Most High said they stood a great exceeding army, which is a spiritual army. And it also said in Revelation 11 that they stood upon their feet, and the heathen saw them and was affrighted. Because they're afraid now, because with us waking up, come it goes in order. The Most High is going to wake us up. The Most High is going to make the world, the planet take the chip through the beast system, and then the destruction. And this is the year of 2020, the year of prophecy. And prophecy has been kicking off since January 1st, man. I mean, things been happening, things of biblical proportion. You know, right now we're dealing with the death of Kobe Bryant. Everybody's mourning about him. And he heard that we were Israelites. Like I said in the past video, a video I made the other day or yesterday, the whole world knows who the Israelites are. But coming back to the prophets of doom, or who are the prophets of doom, we're the only religion. The Muslims ain't. Farrakhan is not talking about the end of the world. These Arab, Middle Eastern nations that follow the Quran, they're not speaking about the end of the world. Check out any group, any Christian group. There's very few that speak about the end of the world. And if they say that, they'll, like you go to Baptist church, you'll never hear a sermon, or I never heard a sermon of some Jake pastor talking about the end of the world. They basically read scriptures, and it says the fear toward the Lord is taught by the precept of men. They got their own precepts. They say their own thing. But these Baptists, they'll never teach a sermon on the end of the world. They'll never teach a sermon on the mark of the beast. So they're dumb dogs loving to slumber. What is that? Isaiah 56 verse 10. They're dumb dogs loving to slumber. They'll teach some nonsense. These people in the church is not ready for it. When this chip comes, there's going to be very few churches that's going to come out and say, "Oh, that's the mark of the beast." Like I said, there's many scriptures. Look up the word last days. Look up the word end of the world. You know, look up the phrase the whole land being destroyed. That's in Isaiah 13, Isaiah 34, Jeremiah 50, Jeremiah 51, Jeremiah 49. The book of Amos, the Most High establishing the tabernacle of David. So this major prophecy already come to pass with us waking up to the fact that we're Israelites. The next major prophecy is the mark of the beast. That's the next major one. And then after the mark of the beast, shortly after that is the destruction and the kingdom of heaven. So, oh, by the way, it said, in closing, I'm going to hit you with Jeremiah 50 verse 43. It said the king of Babylon, which is Trump right now, and in my estimation, he'll be president again. He's going to beat the impeachment trial, and then he's going to become president again, and then he's going to cause Armageddon to come to pass. Now, that's not a prophecy. That's just my estimation. We'll see. Now all we have to do is watch and see. Anyway, with that, I'm going to say shalom, and it's on to the next one. Shalom.